welcome to Ring Talk. Magic Tyler.
Caysen
Smith. And we're back.
We are back. On the dawn of Backlash.
Yeah.
I guess you could say. In St. Louis, just up the road.
Yeah.
Kind of. A few hours up the road.
We're in the vicinity.
Vicinity.
Vicinity. It's a fun word.
We're getting really close to what they're saying is the last time between John Cena and Randy Orton. Yeah. This is it. We're not getting another one after this. One and done.
They didn't do as much building up to it as I wish they did.
Well, we still got one more SmackDown after this past one. We got one more.
That's a joke, right?
We got one more. You never know what they could do.
SmackDown has been booty cheeks for the last month.
Whoa, relax.
For the last month.
Well, we're going to talk about SmackDown first.
Okay.
Because SmackDown from May 2nd, 2025 kicks off with LA Knight and Damian Priest basically saying they have a problem with one another.
Yeah.
And they need to settle it.
They do.
And they settle it by going one-on-one in a match.
Right.
Which, of course,
ends
in a no contest.
Yep.
Because of Solo and Jacob Fatu getting involved and costing both the match. We're getting closer to the United States Championship Fatal 4-Way, which also includes Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
Who I hope wins, honestly.
I think Jacob Fatu is going to keep his championship.
Well, we'll get to our predictions in a little bit.
We will.
Something I want to talk about a little bit is, has it been like since Mania they've had Fraxium on every SmackDown?
Something like
since
that.
Mania?
Yeah, I think so.
Because they were on here again going up against Pretty Deadly picking up the W.
Yeah.
So they're clearly...
Well, I'm pretty sure there's like a backstage segment and stuff with them like talking about like they're like going after everyone on SmackDown and stuff.
Yeah, they're like, we're done with NXT, which they've done all they can in NXT.
Yeah.
And they're going to be moving on here, I guess, to SmackDown, or I'm assuming they're going to have a draft here before too long.
Yeah, probably.
Start splitting people up. But Fraxium picked up a big W against Pretty Deadly. And then we got a whole segment between Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax, which this was the week after Nia Jax had returned. And they're kind of getting in each other's faces. Eventually Jade Cargill comes out, Naomi comes out, and this all ends in a brawl.
Yeah.
Between all four women.
That's fun, isn't it?
It is fun.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we're going to get a fatal 4-way between all four women at some point.
You think so?
Yeah. I still think we need to get one more Naomi and Jade Cargill match.
Isn't the main event of that night the tag?
Is a tag match between all four women.
Yeah.
The next match is Aleister Black defeating The Miz.
Which,
so tell me what you think about Aleister Black's first match since his return.
As good as it could have been.
Miz was a good first opponent.
Yeah.
I think Miz is always a good first person to have a little rivalry against.
Yeah.
If you're trying to build somebody up. Aleister Black's finisher, was it Black Mass? It's a cool finisher.
I like it.
Basically, he just spins and kicks you in the face.
It can happen like that.
Kind of like an RKO, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I love the finishers just like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Miz sells it so good.
Yeah.
And then just falls back. And
I think that's what they're aiming for like everyone that gets hit by it.
To sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's he going? What are we doing with Aleister Black?
I don't know, man. It's really.
I mean, I think a rivalry with the Wyatt Six would be really cool.
I think so too.
Super, super cool. I think they could work very well together.
I think they're gonna wait a bit for that, to be honest.
Honestly, I'd love to see a match between him and John Cena.
I'd love to see a match between Aleister Black and anybody, to be honest.
And anybody?
Yeah.
There's not one person that sticks out to you. You're like, oh, dude, I bet they could put on a good program.
Are we going like entire WWE in general?
Yeah, sure. Raw or SmackDown.
I'd say CM Punk.
Ooh, CM Punk would be very good.
Yeah.
A good rivalry here in WWE. Because they may have done some stuff in AEW. I can't remember exactly. Mm-hmm. But it'd be cool to see them go up against each other here in WWE.
Is Aleister Black the kind of dude that'll have like promos and stuff though?
He might do some stuff, or we'll see.
Yeah.
He is more of a non-speaking.
Yeah, that's
character.
what I was about to say. But I like that though. I think
he's a man of few words.
We have too many. It's almost as if you have to be well at speaking in the mic to be like a top name in the industry.
Well, it is a big part of it.
But I feel like we got to have some people like Brock Lesnar. He didn't speak much, and he was still.
But he also had Paul Heyman who spoke for him.
Right.
So now maybe if you had someone with Aleister Black that could speak for him.
Right.
And he just was the action.
I think he should not like have like promos in the ring, but he should have like video segments.
Vignettes kind of stuff. I gotcha. Next is Aleister Black's wife, Zelina Vega, going one-on-one with Piper Niven, one of Chelsea Green's
once
Secret
again,
Service.
The United States champion.
The new United States champion.
Right. Defends.
Was it for the title? I don't know if it was for the title.
She still won.
She still picked up a big old W.
Big old W.
Big old fat W.
And she's the champ, man. She's proven why she's the champ.
She deserves it.
Who do you think is after this whole thing at Chelsea Green? Who do you think is next for Zelina Vega? Or do you think that Chelsea Green's going to win it back?
Well, I think we could maybe... I don't know. I think it might be time for Chelsea Green to maybe move on to something new.
Yeah.
Bigger and better.
Right.
Who to go up against Zelina Vega? I mean, you got people like Nia Jax in there. You got...
I feel like if they kept Blair Davenport, she could have been perfect.
She would have been a good one. We'll get to...
If they kept her.
Obviously, we'll get to all the releases here in a little bit. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Randy Orton's segment. He says that John Cena is just another legend that he'll have to take down. That he'll have to kill. He is the legend killer.
They're bringing back a lot of, like...
Some callbacks.
Yeah, callbacks. Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited. One last time.
One
of maybe the greatest rivalries in WWE history. John Cena and Randy Orton.
I just hope it's better than Mania. That's all I hope. Like, I'm glad they shot the bullet of getting John Cena.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Randy Orton's match with Joe Hendry was better than the main event?
They're both really close.
Because...
Joe Hendry had more, like...
It
had more entertainment
obviously, it did. Yeah, it was more entertaining. And it didn't have any story.
Yeah.
It was... Obviously, it was just because Kevin Owens got hurt, and they had to call an audible, and Joe Hendry's like... And it was super cool, because we've never seen a TNA champion performing at Mania.
Yeah.
And against Randy Orton, one of the greatest of all time.
Someone as big of a name as Joe Hendry.
And I feel like the crowd was more into that than it was the main event.
Oh, yeah. Even though that match was short as the main event.
It was short, but it didn't feel... I think it was short, but it didn't feel like it...
It was rushed.
It was rushed.
Yeah.
It felt like it flowed well, and it was... It lasted the amount... I think it lasted the amount of time it needed. It didn't need to go 20 minutes.
Yeah.
15. I don't even know if it hit the 10-minute mark.
No, it was a really short match.
Yeah. So it didn't need it.
It like didn't ruin Joe Hendry's name at all as well.
No, yeah. I think it helped it tremendously.
And with Cody Rhodes, he got beat up. After he had showed so much heart beating Roman Reigns the WrestleMania before, and he just loses.
And one of the greatest main events of all time.
And also, I want to point some... They were like having the whole thing about him not using the belt to win a match and stuff. Mm-hmm. Even though we've seen this exact dark side from Cody Rhodes in the match with Kevin Owens right before John Cena's feud. It just seemed like it made no sense to me.
Don't tell me, tell them.
You know what I mean, though?
I get you. Move on to the next match. Rey Fenix defeating Santos Escobar.
Yep. We're getting Rey Fenix on the rise. I'm liking it.
I'm assuming the draft is what's gonna partner him and Penta up together.
Yeah. I
guess we're doing it post Backlash.
Do you think Penta's first championship should be a tag team championship?
Most likely, yeah.
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 I really like Penta as a singles competitor.
He's
I'm not
good,
gonna lie.
but I see them most likely going for tag team gold. Main event was Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill defeating Nia Jax and Naomi.
Yeah.
Moving on to Raw from May 5th. Kicks off with Paul Heyman.
Yeah, interrupting Jey Uso.
Interrupting Jey Uso and cutting one of the most passionate promos I've ever seen him cut.
He had a point the entire time he was talking. I'm not gonna lie. He had a point.
Everybody's like, it's always me I'm always the one that's betraying people.
Right.
No one ever betrays me. And he's saying that CM Punk and Roman Reigns betrayed him.
Right.
Both of them.
I mean, he had a point, too.
He was making facts.
Yeah.
And Jey Uso just really wasn't taking him seriously.
Yeah, Jey Uso was like, are you good?
Are you good? And Paul Heyman didn't like that. But, to Paul Heyman's credit, it was all part of the plan.
Right.
Because
he got him
set up Seth Rollins getting a title shot for later that night.
Yeah, backstage segment right after he goes up to Seth Rollins. He's like,
it worked.
You're right.
I can't believe it worked.
Seth Rollins is like, I told you so.
I told you so.
And Paul Heyman gives this like little like thing for him and Braun Breaker. Remember that when he was like having him like imagine Seth Rollins winning and all this stuff?
Because it's like, think about how much better it would be for us.
Right.
With me as champion.
He's just giving... It just shows that Braun Breaker is definitely like fully into this and that he's...
Well, yeah, so... I think, Braun Breaker is going to be fully into this group.
Yeah, he sees the vision.
But by Royal Rumble next year...
I think Braun Breaker's going to win the Royal Rumble.
I think he's going to win the Royal Rumble, and we're getting Braun Breaker Seth Rollins for the title I made.
That's our take.
It's a prediction.
It's a spoiler.
It's a spoiler.
I actually think he should be the one that wins.
Yeah, and I think they're going to tee up this story perfectly. For right now, for at least the foreseeable future, I think Braun Breaker is going to be fully in with Seth Rollins.
Do you think that Paul Heyman's going to go with Seth Rollins, or is he going to go with Braun Breaker?
I think probably Seth Rollins, because I think they're going to be the heels, and Braun Breaker is going to be the face, the baby face, going into that match.
I don't like seeing Braun Breaker as a baby face. I like him as a heel, man.
I don't know. I think I like what they've done with him when he was Intercontinental Champion, where he was kind of in the middle, and the crowd loved him.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm just going to spear everybody that gets in my way.
I hope he still has that aggressive attitude.
I think he will. But yeah, I think he'll be fully in this group. Definitely once we get to I could see maybe seeing some ripples come Survivor Series. Maybe if we do a War Games match with them and maybe whoever joins them.
We also have to think about when Braun Breaker, if he wins the Royal Rumble, we got to remember there's other people probably going to be in this group as well.
Yeah.
Because originally, I'm pretty sure I read this thing. It was like WWE planned it for just be only Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker, but people wanted a third member so much that they're...
I think we'll get one.
Yeah.
Does this remind you at all of the Monday Night Messiah character that Seth Rollins had?
It does.
A lot of people feel like that's just the vibe we're getting. We're kind of getting that guy back.
But I kind of like that, to be honest.
And I felt like the Messiah didn't get enough time because that was pandemic era, and by the time I feel like he didn't get enough time to really work with that character.
I think he still did good with what he had though for that character.
Yeah, I think I agree. First match of the night was Penta defeating JD McDonough of the Judgment Day.
Yeah. Great match. Chad Gable got involved.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people get involved. You had
Carlito and Finn
Balor getting involved. You had Chad Gable getting involved.
And Penta still pulled out the W.
Penta's still pulling out the W because he's that guy.
That's why I feel like they're pushing him for a singles title. That's why I said that.
He is getting the match at Backlash.
Yeah.
So who knows? Moving on to the next match, we had Austin Theory, who got tricked into this match.
Yeah.
Didn't know who he was facing until the music hit, and it was the return of the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. Sheamus really had no problem taking on Austin Theory.
Yeah.
Grayson Waller watched on, kind of laughed a little bit. Again, how long have they been teasing the breakup between these two?
I feel like
I know it's been a year.
It's been longer, yeah. It's been a long time. But
I mean, because by this time last year, they were tag team champions because they had won at Mania.
Yeah.
It was about this time where I feel like they started planting the seeds, especially once they lost the tag team titles.
I don't know what they're gonna do with them, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that they still haven't done anything with these two. These two have so much talent. It could be so.
I think Austin Theory would work very well with Seth Rollins. And
I think so. Yeah.
I think he could fit in well.
Seth Rollins and Austin Theory have history too, don't they? Yeah.
Moving on to Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria getting into a little war of words, and this ends into a brawl.
And yeah.
And I believe it's Lyra Valkyria that gets kind of the upper hand in the end.
She gets the upper hand.
Hits her finisher.
Yeah, because Becky Lynch was like going for a hit and then she
dodged it.
Yeah.
Or like blocked it. And they started fighting. Got broken up, then they got back in again, and Lyra hit her finisher.
Yep. I still think that Becky's gonna win this.
All right, we'll get to our prediction.
We'll get
to it.
I'm just saying.
Don't spoil everything for them.
Spoiler.
All right, moving on to Io Sky defeating Roxanne Perez in a non-title great match. And then Julia ends up attacking Io Sky.
Remember Roxanne Perez was like trying to.
They were like shaking hands.
Yeah.
And then when she left the ring and Julia came from behind.
As soon as she did that, I was like, yeah, Julia's
coming right up behind her, yeah.
So I'm guessing we're getting this new like tag team between Roxanne and Julia.
I guess.
Which is very interesting.
Because we're not getting Roxanne and Cora Jade, that's for sure. Not anymore. That's done.
Yeah.
So SmackDown, we had the return of Aleister Black. On Monday Night Raw, we had the return of Rusev.
Yeah.
He goes one-on-one with
Rusev Day.
Otis.
And
it just seemed like Otis didn't really stand much of a chance.
Not really. I mean, there was moments where Otis had like a little...
He was feeling it.
He was feeling it,
but Rusev put a stop to that pretty quickly.
Yeah. I'm liking how they're keeping him with the accolade for his finisher. Because I feel like we need a lot more submission finishers.
Yeah. Tozawa tried to get into the face of Rusev. And Rusev was like,
I just want to say, that took some balls right there.
Yeah, Rusev was like, okay. He left the ring, but then went right back in and took out Akira Tozawa.
And then, once again, puts Otis in the accolade and won't...
Just not
classic
let it go.
Rusev does not stop and just keeps going. Of all these people trying to pull him back.
So he's a heel, right? Rusev's a heel. Clearly, I mean, that's what it's looking
That's what
like.
they're pushing for, but I'm still going to cheer for him anyways.
Yeah. Next is a segment between Gunther and Pat McAfee. Gunther vowing to squash McAfee.
Which is one thing I was very surprised at is that there's no like physical interaction here.
It was very just war of words.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee going to give it all he's got.
Right.
He's going to give it everything. Will it be enough?
No. I'm sorry. Maybe.
I think we already know all of Caysen's predictions by this point. Let's move on to the main event, which was a pretty good match. Seth Rollins versus Jey Uso. I learned that so far, every match that Seth Rollins has wrestled on TV or PLE this year in 2025 has been a main event.
Yeah.
He did the Royal Rumble.
He's a main event star, man.
Yeah, he did Royal Rumble. I think he may have done one other Raw match against like Drew McIntyre. He did Elimination Chamber match, the WrestleMania match, then the Raw on Netflix against CM Punk, and then this match. So every match he's wrestled on TV this year has been on the main event.
I think Seth Rollins is carrying WWE, in my opinion. I mean, it's a
and he's not a champion.
And he's not a champion.
That's something to note. If you're saying he's carrying the company right now, he's not even the champion.
And
the champion's supposed to be the ones carrying the company.
He's constantly pulling off matches like this week after week, banger after banger after banger match, and like this match was better than Gunther versus Jey Uso.
Dang.
I
agree.
Yeah.
It
was by DQ.
And it was ended because of CM Punk
Yeah.
Coming out, taking out Braun Breaker. Because Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman trying to get involved. CM Punk comes out, takes out Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins, causes the disqualification. So technically, Seth Rollins beat the World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
Didn't win the title, but he did beat the champ.
He could have won the title if he just pinned him instead of looking at CM Punk.
Yeah. And then also Logan Paul attacked Jey Uso.
Yeah.
And that finished out Monday Night Raw.
Seth Rollins, his plan would have worked if CM Punk didn't mess it all up.
CM Punk.
So, and Sami Zayn's also doing stuff with it. I'm guessing Jey Uso's going to be doing stuff as well. So, 3 against 2. They need a new member, man.
They need one more.
They need one more. And Roman Reigns comes up.
You got the Roman Reigns name in there. I'm imagining, I'm pretty sure they're going to do Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins versus Punk and Roman at some point.
I think maybe SummerSlam or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Anything else you want to talk about on Raw before we move on to... I like how they did a backstage segment with Chad Gable and Adam Pearce. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Hey, Americano." And Chad Gable turned to him and responded to him. What's that all about? Why do you respond to him when he called him Americano?
It's just a friend of his. He was
El Grande or whatever he said to him.
He was wanting to know who was talking to.
It almost like he responded to the name. Like I just thought it was odd. I just thought it was odd.
The evidence has already been shown.
That's all I'm saying.
The evidence has already been shown that it's not Chad Gable.
I'm just making an observation.
It's not Chad Gable.
All right.
The evidence is there.
All right. Let's move on to NXT. From May 6th. Kicks off with Dark State defeating Joe Hendry and Hank and Tank.
Yeah.
It's because Trick Williams had gotten involved, taking out Joe Hendry.
I just want to say I like the Dark State.
You like them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're going somewhere.
They're going places.
They're on a winning streak right now, aren't they?
They're doing pretty well, yeah. Next match was Zarya defeating Kalani Jordan. And then we had the Battle Royal to decide who is the number 1 contender for the NXT Championship. And this consisted of NXT superstars, people from LFG, people from Evolve.
Yeah.
And TNA.
Yeah.
And that included the man formerly known as Elias.
Yeah.
And TNA's Elijah getting involved in the match.
Who wants to walk with Elijah?
With Elijah.
Yeah.
And I was watching it, and the crowd was chanting, like, "Oh, walk with..." But they were saying Elias.
Yeah.
And the WWE, they were bleeping it out. Because they don't want him saying Elias when he's going by Elijah. I just thought that was funny.
I think we should walk with Elijah. I don't know who this Elias guy is.
Elijah. But in the end, it was, I'd say, an upset because Miles Bourne of... Miles Bourne got the W.
Mm-hmm.
Of was it No Quarter Catch Crew?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think what it was too. It's very interesting how he was the one out of all of them to pull it out.
Well, he's getting an NXT Championship match against Obafemi at Battleground.
What do you think? How do you think they could escalate this?
Well, Charlie Dempsey was saying, "Oh, you can just give me the title match. Since you want it, you can just hand over that opportunity to me."
Right.
Because I'm basically the leader of this group. Miles Bourne was like, "Nah."
Yeah.
Miles Bourne, I think, is fed up with Charlie Dempsey.
Do you think this is going to be a little crack in between the No Quarter Catch Crew and that's going to affect the match? The championship match?
Possibly. Maybe Charlie costs him the match or something.
Yeah.
But it's looking like, they're maybe going to start pushing Miles Bourne a little bit.
Which is very interesting, yeah.
He's got a good look to him.
Right.
They say he looks like the next Randy Orton.
That says a lot.
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Next match was Jada Parker defeating Carmen Petrovic. And then we had in the main event, winner goes on to face the NXT champion, Stephanie Valkyrie. You had Jordan Grace defeating Julia.
Which makes sense because Julia's doing her thing.
Julia's doing her thing over on Raw. Getting that Pete Dunne paycheck. She want that Pete Dunne. She want that Pete Dunne raise.
Pete Dunne page. PDPC. I keep forgetting the abbreviation for it. We always say it.
Yeah.
PDPC.
All right. So, anything else you want to talk about for these 3 shows?
I want to talk about the tag team division for Raw.
Hit me.
Where do we go from here?
So what? We got the New Day.
And we had like a little thing between the New Day and American Made.
Right.
And they were talking about...
Basically, they were saying like... They were telling Chad Gable that it's time for them to be back on top or something. And
right.
Chad Gable was like, I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Basically.
Who do you think is the next?
I mean, the Viking Raiders probably have
War Raiders.
The War Raiders.
Yeah.
Deserve another match.
Yeah.
What teams do you have over on the Raw side? Honestly?
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, you got Austin Theory, Grayson Waller. You got War Raiders. You got New Day. You got Judgment Day. You got American Made. You got Alpha Academy. But a lot of those people aren't doing something in the tag team division, right. Unlike on the SmackDown side. I think all these teams are working towards the tag team.
I think whenever we get a draft or something of that sort, that we'll
mix it up a little bit.
Have the more even out.
I gotcha.
For the tag team division. I was wondering like, who do you think would be next? You know what I mean? I think the New Day's going to hold on to those for a while though.
For a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe until Penta and Rey Fenix come along.
That actually would be a great team.
I think that'd be a really good match.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Backlash predictions.
The predictions. How many matches is it? 5?
As of right now, there's only 5, so we're only gonna predict 5.
Yeah.
Obviously, they could add more.
Who won the WrestleMania predictions?
I don't know. I forgot to go look.
I forgot to do that too. I completely forgot that we had a...
It's all good. Let's just move on to Backlash. Yeah. Let's kick it off with Dominic Mysterio versus Penta.
Now, this one I'm actually really... I don't know, man. I'm just... 3, 2, 1. I said
Dominic
Mysterio.
I think it'll be a banger match, but man, I think they're gonna ride this title reign for a little while. Especially because I think they're setting up Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking they're really putting on to this Finn Balor Dominic feud, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't think it's time for Penta to win it yet.
Not quite yet. Next is the United States Championship Fatal 4-Way. Jacob Fatu, L.A. Knight, and Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. 3, 2, 1.
So Jacob Fatu. I think clearly it's not time for him to lose it yet.
Not yet. Especially, again, I think kind of similar to Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor. I think we're going to get Fatu and Sikoa down the line.
Right.
Probably at SummerSlam. We'll go Pat McAfee versus Gunther. 3, 2, 1. Gunther. Now, I think Pat McAfee will have a strong showing for a little bit, but I think for the most part, I do think Gunther's going to squash him.
I think if Gunther loses, that'll just completely ruin his image. You know what I mean? It'll send him downhill. And
something would have to cost... He can't lose straight up.
Yeah.
Something would have to really cost him the match.
I think this could be like about something, but like I think we need more Ludwig Kaiser. It's been a minute.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we need more Imperium stuff because... You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
You got me.
Next is Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. 3, 2, 1.
Becky Lynch.
I said Lyra Valkyria.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think
let me tell you my reasoning.
Okay.
It's mainly because if you look at the last 3 matches that we have predicted, we predicted the same ones. And if you look at each and every single one of those, all of them are heels. And I don't think you're going to have that many heels winning in one night, especially on the PLE.
Fair enough.
So that's my reasoning for going. Even though I think it'd be best if Becky Lynch won.
Right.
And then because I don't think this isn't going to be just a one and done match.
Man, that's a good point. Okay. Well, I think Fatu kind of counts as a face as well. Everyone's going to be cheering for Fatu, you know what I mean? You know where I'm coming from?
Yeah. I mean, I think LA Knight will get some praise.
Yeah. I think the favorite though for this match is Fatu.
Yeah. Main event, you have John Cena versus Randy Orton one last time for the WWE Championship. 3, 2, 1.
John Cena.
John Cena. In the hometown of Randy Orton, St. Louis, Missouri. I think John Cena's coming out on top.
Yeah, we need more people to hate him.
And they're going to hate him. I'm expecting him to get booed out of the arena. In St. Louis, Randy Orton's hometown. And Randy Orton's going to get one of the biggest pops of the year.
Yeah.
I'm calling it right now. I think it'll be a solid event as a whole.
I think so too. I think it'll be really...
I think it'll be good.
I think
it'll be fun.
It'll be incredible.
Incredible. Anything else you want to talk about Backlash? Obviously, they could announce some more matches.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Let's talk about the releases.
Yeah, I think that's what
That's what we're going to close this show out for a little bit. It was a rough...
Really rough.
Do you have it on your phone, all the names that I sent you?
Yeah, I
or
can
at least
can right now.
So we can remember all of them. I remember definitely some of the big ones. Obviously, your big one was Braun Strowman. That was a big one.
Him and Cora Jade, yeah. Okay, yeah, I did save it. Okay, I'll read.
So read off all of them.
Braun Strowman. Dakota Kai.
That one sucks for me.
Yeah.
A lot of people were upset about that one.
Yeah.
They just I don't get it. I just don't get it.
It's crazy how they took her out, but isn't Asuka and Kairi Sane still?
They're both injured. They're supposed to be coming back. I think Damage Control is over.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
I think
Io Sky's a megastar in the singles division right now, obviously. I think maybe Asuka and Kairi Sane might come back as just a tag team as the Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah, which, man, I think
just to add something to the women's tag team division.
Dakota Kai needs it, man.
Yeah, I don't get it. Especially, what drives me nuts is they added the 2 new women's titles. Mm-hmm. Dakota Kai would be perfect for like Zelina Vega in the Women's United States Championship.
Yeah.
Blows my mind. It blows my mind.
You're not the only one.
I don't get it.
Another big name that I think is crazy, Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler, who we have said multiple times, we believe, back at WrestleMania 2020, in the pandemic, the one with no fans, she wrestled Becky Lynch for the title, and she should have won it. Because she was the baddest woman on the planet, I think, at that point, really, because she was, like, unstoppable.
Yeah.
Because she had, like, a huge showing in the Rumble that year with eliminations, and then had a huge showing in winning the Women's Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah. You know, it's very interesting that she's the one that gets kicked out, but Sonya Deville and Zoe Stark still?
Sonya's gone. As far as I know, Zoe's still there.
That's very interesting.
I still think Zoe deserves... I'd be upset if they released Zoe, too.
Yeah.
I'd be upset.
It's really interesting. I definitely... They're definitely feeling it
I don't get it. I don't get
Pure Fusion Collective went horribly wrong.
Yeah, no one thought that was going anywhere.
Yeah. Where do you think Zoe Stark's going to go from here? Or is she going to go anywhere?
If she does, I would say probably one of those mid-card title pictures, maybe. Yeah. Intercontinental, or maybe draft, they throw her towards the Women's United States Championship.
I just don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do for...
I mean, I think they set her up so well with the whole
Trish Stratus.
And then she dropped Trish Stratus, like hit her with her finisher, dropped her, and then was like, all right, I'm on my own now. And then she partners up with Shayna Baszler. I was like, all right, okay, maybe this tag team could do something for the tag team division. It didn't. And then they did Pure Fusion Collective, and then that didn't go anywhere.
I don't know, man. The cards weren't played right for them.
It's not their fault. They did the best they could.
Kaden Carter to Katana Chance. I think
again, it's like you're already struggling with your women's tag team division.
Yeah.
And then you throw out a team like that who are former tag team champions, who are amazing talents, insanely athletic, can do these crazy flippy moves.
Yeah. This one surprised me. Gigi Dolan,
especially since they were putting a lot of stock in that group that they made. With her, Tatum Paxley, and Shotzi. Shotzi also, I believe, has been released.
She returned earlier too, like really recently, right? Mm-hmm. Gigi. It's crazy, man. Riley Osborne.
Well, I was expecting him, especially since they released Duke Hudson.
Yeah. From
Chase U. I was like, I'm betting Riley Osborne wouldn't be too far behind.
Yeah.
That one's not too surprising.
Eddie Thorpe.
I mean, they were putting a lot of stock in him last year. I just feel like he didn't really connect with the crowd the way they hoped he would.
Jakar Jackson.
The whole breakup of Metaphor makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. Makes a lot more sense.
Olive Gallus is gone.
Yeah, so about Lash Legend. Where does she go from here?
I think they could maybe throw her to the main roster too.
Really? I wouldn't be surprised.
Especially since they had her in the Royal Rumble.
I think she would be great for the mid cards.
Yeah.
I think she would be. They need people in mid cards, and I think she's ready for that at least.
Her and Zelina Vega.
Yeah.
They could do some work together.
Next we have the entire Gallus.
Gallus is all gone.
Which sucks, but you know. Oro Mensa, so
another Metaphor.
So
makes a lot more sense now.
Basically, Noam Dar and Lash Legend are
only ones left. Because Noam Dar is the Heritage Cup champion.
To be honest, I think those two are the only ones that have really contributed to that group, anyways.
Ooh.
In my opinion.
All right.
I think they're the only ones that really got big connections with the crowd. In my opinion.
I gotcha. Okay.
Is it Javier? Bernal?
I can't read it. Javier Bernal.
Yeah, that's NXT, right?
Yeah.
I never really got much in there.
No, I don't think. And then this last one.
I think
blows my mind.
This last one's probably the worst one.
Blows my mind.
This one is number one on why.
Is
on the why list.
Cora Jade.
Jade.
Why? Especially after you have you're throwing Roxanne up to the main roster. You're setting Cora up to become a huge key player for NXT this next year. Then maybe she goes to the main roster next year.
Man.
Blows my mind.
They should not have done this. This is my complete opinion. I think they should never have Roxanne and Julia do their thing on Raw. I think they should have had this storyline between Cora Jade and Roxanne.
Especially since I thought they were going to do Julia and Stephanie Valkyrie, like a huge rivalry that was going to carry us through NXT this whole year.
I don't see the crowd really connecting with this new story that they've done with Roxanne and Julia either.
It does seem like a bit of an odd partnership.
Yeah. Because I think everyone's thinking what we're thinking. We're thinking, why is these two of all women doing this right now?
It would make more sense if it's Roxanne and Cora Jade.
Yeah. But they broke them up. They had Roxanne walk out on her, which could have created a huge story.
And because I thought that was going to set up, all right, so maybe Roxanne will have one more little rivalry on NXT.
With Cora Jade.
Cora Jade will win, so that boosts her up, and then Roxanne can go off onto Monday Night Raw or SmackDown and do whatever.
Yeah, that one's... Okay, let's have a top 3 list of the ones we're most disappointed in. Okay.
So
my number one's Cora Jade.
My number one's Cora Jade.
My number 2's Braun Strowman.
My number 2 is probably Dakota Kai.
And my number 3 is probably Dakota Kai.
And my number 3 is probably Braun Strowman.
So those 3 big names, just no, man. I mean, I can get by all these other ones. All of them suck.
Mm-hmm.
Besides from, I mean, all of them suck. Some of them I understand. Some of them I don't understand at all.
Yeah.
But let us know what you think. But I mean, when the good when we get new people, we gotta release people, I guess.
I mean, I think it was a money thing.
Yeah.
Budget-wise. I think Braun Strowman definitely was getting paid a lot of money, and they felt like he didn't.
I think they should have done more of him, to be honest, when he came back.
I think it was just like because he's getting injured a lot, and so they just felt like the money wasn't worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think, for me, Braun Strowman, what they messed up on the most for him was having the same thing happen with him every single week he shows up.
Yeah.
It's always him just chasing people around or getting mad at a certain person, just chasing them around.
Yeah.
Which the Braun Strowman I know and love is the one that flipped over an ambulance.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
I feel you. I agree. I ain't gonna argue with you.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know.
Let us know your predictions for Backlash.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, do all the good stuff.
Stay tuned in. We might have more content coming out.
More content coming your way.
Not just this amazing podcast.
It is. It is an amazing podcast. Don't let anybody tell you differently.
Yeah. So we got this podcast. We got more things coming up. Be patient. We'll have more stuff.
All right. Get us out of here.
Magic Tyler, Caysen Smith, and we're glad y'all joined us today. Batman as well. Batman, John Cena fell. John Cena and Rey Mysterio over above Tyler's head. You could just see
Roxanne Perez
thing. And Roxanne Perez been stuck in that case for a bitch.
Forever.
She's gonna be like the Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, stuck in there forever.
Yeah. But yeah, we're all thankful that you guys showed up. So Magic Tyler, Caysen Smith, and see you on the next one.